We are back at the cafe with the cups refilled and Cadance ready to tell her part of the story. Hopefully with less, let's call it ambition. She immediately starts with a bomb. She went to the dance with Buck, but she didn't leave with him. There were a few guesses on how it happened on the side of the main six, and she confirms that she was romantically swept off her wings by Shining Armor, while he was a bit of a dog. Like always. But before we get to the party, we're gonna revisit the night when she was full-sitting Twilight. We're switching to Cadance's perspective right after Shiny's smooth hello, and she thought he was simply adorable and proceeds to interrogate Twilight about every relevant information on Shining Armor. And with label markers and Academy ruled paper, they get to work. And they come to the conclusion that the two were made for each other. This information has to be kept from Shining Armor, and to make sure that they won't tell, they do the full school playground oath. This oath eventually became their greeting, but in a shorter version. Upon hearing this, Shiny is very annoyed. It would have all been so easy with that knowledge. But you don't break an oath like this. Now we skip to the parade, where she is infatuated with Shining's singing, which leads us again to Buck being a jerk and inciting every pony to call them names. Fluttershy can't believe how she could agree to go to the dance with a jerk like him after this, and she explains. She was about to go ask Shining Armor after the polo game, but she heard a rumor from no one less than Shirley that he already wants to go ask some pony. And in classic rom-com fashion, she misunderstands and thinks he doesn't want to go with her. But when Buck comes around and asks her at exactly that down point, she isn't mentally strong enough to dump him. She simply can't believe that Shiny likes some pony else. According to the charts, they were perfect for each other. On the night of the dance, Cadance is getting ready with her friends. They talk about Buck Rivers and her friends really love him. But Cadance knows it's time to confess. She doesn't want to go to the dance with Buck, but rather with Shining Armor. Her friends are concerned at first, but this concern quickly vanishes after they realize that Buck is back on the market if she goes for Shining Armor. And it's good to know that she, like Shining, imagines them living together in a big crystal castle in the future. Shining and his friends are also getting ready, and they already came up with a new plan to reveal the true colors of Buck to Cadance. They make it really overcomplicated, while the mares plan the only smart thing to do. Dump Buck once they are there, and then go ask Shining Armor to the dance. It's 3 hours until then, and while the girls are panicking, the boys play a relaxing game of cards to pass the time. After those 3 hours, it's time for Buck to get Cadance. And Celestia is there to send her off, and she is excited to meet Buck despite knowing Cadance's true intentions. At least until he arrives and makes a big deal out of himself. After that, she wants her to dump him as soon as possible. Shining gets sent off a little tamer by his family. At the dance, Cadance and her date arrive first, and I gotta say, she is annoyed, but Cadance is rocking that look. And we get to see Cheerly and Mayor in the background talking about their future jobs. But they get baffled at the sight of Shining and his supposed date, Poindexter in a dress. Some ponies don't realize this, but Cadance does. Now she knows that she can get Shiny for herself. But she still has to get rid of Buck, and just before he tries to kiss her, she friend-zones him. Her friends try to console him, but he won't have it. He wants to give Shiny a piece of his mind. But first, Cadance makes moves on Shining Armor, who can't get a word out. But Cadance is sure that they can work up to sentences before the end of the night. Buck tries to make his way to them, but Shining's friends disrupt him, while Vinyl's dad puts on sick beats in the background. But it's no use. He gets to them, but before he can do something, the announcement of the fall formal King and Queen starts. And Cadance obviously gets elected as Queen, and for some reason they still chose Buck as the King. But this time, the rest of the ponies wouldn't have it. They all now decide that Shining Armor should be king instead because Buck is a jerk, while Shiny is one of the nicest guys in the school for various reasons. Buck still wouldn't waver because who cares about being nice when you have the looks and are good at sports. Cadance does. That's why Shiny gets chosen to be king and her very special sun pony, but still only after they send Buck up to the disco ball to keep him quiet. Now Cadance and Shining Armor can finally be alone, but they won't start talking about Crystal Palaces until after the dance. What a happy ending. And now they are living happily forevermore, all existing in a perpetual state of happiness. But Fluttershy asks the question no pony wanted an answer to. What happened to Buck? At this moment he walks into the cafe together with one of Cadance's old friends, Lemony Gems. And it seems like he is living a good life and has reconciled with Shining Armor. So, do you all understand why I love the storyline? It may be very cliché, but it's still adorable, and gives so much information about the past of the royal couple, as well as world building for the Canterlot Academy. So what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments, like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, or just want to support me, and so you don't miss the next storyline. My little pirate, friendship ahoy! But until then, see you around for the bonies, bony fellas, and bye!